Welcome to the Neon Shadow series. Episode 6. Kael's transmission. Vance fixed the sensors. I should be happy about that. I can see the dark again. The screens are clear. No static, no ghosts. Just the cold, hard geometry of the sprawl surrounding us. It was quiet for an hour. The kind of quiet you buy with vintage whiskey and too much adrenaline. I sat here listening to Foxy hum, a smooth, steady rhythm for the first time in cycles. I actually let myself think for maybe 5 minutes that we were ahead of the curve. I had the cargo, I had the ship, I was going to make the drop, pay Shan, and drag Kael out of that hole. 5 minutes of hope. In this city, that's an eternity. And then the comms panel lit up. It wasn't a standard frequency. It was burst transmission, heavily encrypted, bounced through 3 different relay satellites to avoid the triad sniffers. It came from the deepest sublevel of the Sector 7 refinery. It was Kael. It was 15 seconds long. The video quality was garbage, mostly green static and digital tear. But I could see him. My brother. He looked... There were burns on his neck. Chemical burns from the vapor. His eyes were sunk so deep into his skull they looked like bruises. He wasn't wearing his mask. He was coughing up that gray phlegm, the stuff that means the shroud is already in your blood. He couldn't speak loud. He was whispering, frantic, looking over his shoulder every 2 seconds. The audio was broken, but I heard the words that matter. Dee, they're moving us. Tomorrow. Not the water vats. Deeper. The core mines. The core mines. You know what that is? That's where they send the people they don't want to bother burying. It's shoveling raw, unstable fusion isotopes right next to the primary reactors without shielding. The radiation levels down there aren't measured in Roentgens anymore. They're measured in days left to live. Nobody comes back from the core. Nobody. And then he told me the rest. The contract changed, Juno. The foreman said the price of water went up. My debt just doubled. 80,000. 80,000 credits by shift change tomorrow, or I go to the core. 80,000. 80,000 credits. I'm sitting on top of 12 priceless bioluminescent aliens that are supposed to save the world, and my payout for delivering them to a monster is only 40. I did the math. 3 times. It doesn't change. I sell out the lumens, I betray these things that trusted me, and it only buys half of my brother's life. Vance said this city is sinking. He was wrong. It's already underwater, and the sharks are smelling blood. Uncle Shan knew? Of course he knew. He probably ordered the transfer. He saw the heat I brought down in the rims, he saw the Xylosians swarming, and he decided to squeeze me. That's the triad way. When your enemy is drowning, you don't throw them a rope. You throw them an anchor. I stared at that blank screen for 10 minutes after the message ended, just listening to Kael's cough echoing in my head. Then I opened a secure channel to the Jade Radiance tea house. Sean answered on the first ring. He was drinking that damn tea. He looked calm, serene, like he hadn't just signed my brother's death warrant. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. Begging costs extra in the sprawl. I said, "The price on the lumens just went up." He smiled, that thin, reptilian smile. Inflation is a terrible thing, isn't it, Juno? He didn't argue. He didn't threaten. He just made an offer. He said, "Keep the 40,000 for the lumens. I have another task, a separate contract. It pays 40,000 on delivery. Tonight." I asked him what it was. He told me. And when he heard my silence, he took another sip of tea and said, "You are a very good pilot, Juno. Perhaps the best. It would be a shame if Kael went to the core before you could prove it." A suicide run. That's what it is. He wants me to run something through the dead zone, a sector where the gang war is so hot the air is practically on fire. No questions asked. Just get from point A to point B without getting vaporized by 3 different cartels. If I do it, Kael walks. If I fail, we both die. I'm done playing the smuggler. I'm done dodging rocks and hiding in shadows. Shan wants a suicide pilot? He's got one. I'm going to take this job. I'm going to fly this rust bucket through the gates of hell if I have to. And when I get back, when Kael is safe, Shan is going to realize he didn't just buy a pilot. He bought a war. Challo, Foxy. Let's go burn something down.